The Kia Sorento has been quietly building a reputation as one of the smarter buys in the three-row SUV segment, with solid tech, attractive design, and a price that used to leave rivals looking overpriced. But here's what Kia doesn't want you to think too hard about. That value story is getting harder to tell. If you're considering a Sorento right now, there are 6 things you need to hear first. Number 6. Cramped third row. The Sorento is being marketed as a 3-row family SUV. That framing matters because the moment you actually use that third row for adults, the illusion starts to crack. With just 26.9 inches of legroom in the back seats, the Sorento is offering less third row space than most direct competitors. The Hyundai Santa Fe is going to give you 30 inches back there. The Toyota 4Runner will give you 31.8 inches. Most families buying a 3-row SUV need real flexibility. A vehicle that carries the whole family on a longer trip without someone drawing the short straw every time. Picture a grown adult folded into that third row for 2 or 3 hours. The seats sit low to the floor, the footwell is tight, and headroom isn't generous. That back seat is going to feel like a punishment, not a solution. This also hits cargo hard. With the third row in use, there are only 12.6 cubic feet of storage space behind it, roughly 5 grocery bags. The third row works for kids and small packages, but if your family genuinely needs that back seat for adults regularly, the Sorento's smaller footprint is going to feel like a compromise every single time. And speaking of things that don't quite deliver on their promise, the hybrid powertrain has its own uncomfortable truth, and fuel economy numbers are at the center of it. Number 5. Disappointing fuel economy with the hybrid. When buyers step up to the Sorento hybrid, they're expecting fuel savings that justify spending more upfront. The EPA is rating the conventional hybrid at 37 miles per gallon city and 36 miles per gallon highway, numbers that look excellent on paper. But what's happening in the real world is a different story. Independent highway testing of the Sorento Hybrid EX is returning 31 miles per gallon at 75 miles per hour, noticeably below those EPA estimates. The plug-in hybrid version is performing even worse, coming in at just 25 miles per gallon on the highway in hybrid mode. Buyers choosing the hybrid are typically doing the math, calculating how long it will take for fuel savings to offset the higher purchase price. When real-world highway economy falls 6 to 11 miles per gallon short of EPA numbers, that break-even point shifts significantly. The savings timeline gets longer, the financial case for going hybrid gets weaker. Combined with a towing capacity that drops dramatically, more on that shortly, the hybrid's price premium is becoming increasingly difficult to justify. But fuel disappointment isn't the only thing waiting after the purchase, because every single day behind the wheel, the suspension is going to make its presence known in a way most test drives won't reveal. Number 4. Firm ride. There's a trade-off buried inside the Sorento's chassis setup that most buyers won't discover until they've already signed the papers. The suspension is tuned to feel composed at highway speeds, confident, settled, reasonably accurate. The problem arrives the moment the road surface deteriorates. At lower speeds, the Sorento is sending a steady stream of jitters through the cabin over rough pavement, expansion joints, and potholes. The optional 20-inch wheels on higher trims make this worse because less sidewall means less cushion between the road and the occupants. Most buyers aren't spending the majority of their time on smooth interstates. They're navigating city streets, older suburban roads, school drop-off zones, and pothole-riddled winter pavement, exactly the surfaces that expose a firm suspension daily. Buyers stepping up to larger wheels for the looks are going to feel every imperfection in the asphalt. That firm character is going to be revealing itself constantly in the kind of driving most owners actually do, and at this price point, competing against genuinely comfortable alternatives, that's a harder trade-off to accept than it first appears. And if the ride is wearing on your patience, what happens inside the cabin isn't going to help, because Kia made a design decision with the controls that's frustrating owners in a very specific, very daily way. Number 3. Lack of physical buttons for basic controls. Walk up to the Sorento's interior and the cabin makes a strong first impression. The materials are attractive, the layout is clean, and the 12.3-inch infotainment screen is sharp and responsive. Kia is clearly investing heavily in the appearance of this cockpit. But spend a few days living with the Sorento and a frustration starts surfacing. Climate controls, volume adjustments, and several other frequently used functions are handled by touch-sensitive panels rather than physical buttons. Consider what that means on a winter morning, driving with gloves on, trying to turn up the heat. With a physical knob, you reach over and twist it without looking. With a touch-sensitive surface, you're hunting for the right zone on a flat panel and hoping it registered, all while keeping the vehicle on the road. It's a small inconvenience in isolation, but it's happening dozens of times a day, every day of ownership. Buyers who have tested the Sorento against the Santa Fe side-by-side tend to land in the same place. Physical controls lead to a safer, less frustrating daily experience. For a vehicle positioned at the premium end of the midsize segment, that touch-sensitive layout is going to wear on owners well past the honeymoon period. But controls are one thing. What the hybrid does to towing capacity is a problem of an entirely different scale, and it's the kind of number that should be on the window sticker in much bigger print. Number 2. Limited towing capacity with the hybrid. Here's where the Sorento Hybrid is going to surprise buyers who assume it's simply a more efficient version of the same capable SUV. The standard Sorento is rated to tow up to 3,500 pounds, and the X Pro trim pushes that to 4,000 pounds. Now look at what the hybrid version is offering: a maximum towing capacity of just 2,000 pounds. That's a 43% reduction, and the real-world implications are significant. Plenty of buyers choose a 3-row SUV because they need a vehicle handling both family duties and weekend towing. A boat, a utility trailer, a small camper. The hybrid is cutting off that second purpose almost entirely. A standard single-axle enclosed trailer, a mid-size fishing boat, many travel trailers, all going to be beyond what the Sorento Hybrid can legally pull. The Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe, also a plug-in hybrid family SUV, tows up to 6,000 pounds, 3 times the Sorento Hybrid's limit. Buyers who need hybrid efficiency and meaningful towing capability are going to find themselves backed into a corner. And that's a trade-off Kia isn't making easy to spot on a showroom floor. Still, as significant as that towing gap is, the biggest shift in the Sorento story isn't about capability, it's about the price tag and what that price tag used to mean. Number 1. Still a value king? For a long time, the Sorento's strongest card was simple. It offered an impressive amount of SUV for a price most competitors couldn't touch. Starting well under $30,000, it occupied a completely different bracket from rivals like the Honda Pilot and Toyota Highlander. That gap was real, and it was a genuine reason to choose a Kia. That positioning is now changing. The Sorento is starting at nearly $34,000 in base LX trim, and by the time buyers reach a well-equipped EX or SX with all-wheel drive, the price is pushing toward the mid to upper 40s. The range-topping X Pro SX Prestige all-wheel drive sits at $50,000. Those numbers aren't outrageous for the segment, but they represent a fundamental shift in how the Sorento needs to be evaluated. Buyers who have always trusted its value proposition are now finding the gap has narrowed considerably. The Hyundai Santa Fe is genuinely competitive on features and price. The Toyota Grand Highlander offers more interior space at a comparable price point. The Sorento is still a solid, well-built vehicle, but the days of choosing it primarily because it was the obvious bargain are fading, and buyers who haven't done a fresh comparison recently are going to want to run those numbers again. The Kia Sorento remains a capable, well-equipped SUV, but the case against buying one right now is built on 6 problems that compound each other. A third row that struggles to serve adults, hybrid fuel economy that falls short of its own promise, a suspension that punishes daily drivers on imperfect roads, touch-sensitive controls that create friction every single day, a hybrid towing capacity that cuts the vehicle's versatility nearly in half, and a price that has climbed far enough to invite direct comparison with larger, more capable alternatives. Together, these aren't minor footnotes. For buyers spending anywhere from $34,000 to nearly $50,000, the segment now offers enough compelling options to make a strong argument for looking elsewhere before signing anything. So, if cabin space and overall practicality are among your main concerns, the good thing to know is that Kia has an excellent alternative on offer. We are talking about the 2027 Kia Telluride, which you can check out in our next video. It's coming completely redesigned, with a couple of new powertrains and a cabin that's even more upscale than before.